Hi everyone, I'm Rosamel Caetano, one of the reporters from Group D. In this video, I'll be reporting about types and characteristics of publications based on Module 1 of our textbook, Development Communication Materials, Nature, Advantages, and Limitations. Before we get started, let me quickly walk you through the topics I will cover in this presentation. So by the end of this video, you will have a refresher on what publications are, their classifications, characteristics, and other categories. Along the way, I'll also share my personal insights on why it's important to classify these publication materials and how knowing when and where to use them can help amplify the message you want to convey to your audience. To begin, let us define what publication means. According to communication theorist and professor Dennis McQuail, publication is the act of making something public, crossing the boundary between private and public expression. To put simply, publications are printed works, produced for public distribution, intended to convey information, ideas, or entertainment to a readership. It's quite interesting because the meaning of publications has actually evolved over time. Back in the earlier days, printed works weren't really seen as a way to communicate with people. Instead, they served as a kind of storage for knowledge. Collections meant to preserve sacred writings, religious texts, legal codes, and official proclamations. The emphasis was on safeguarding information rather than disseminating it. Today, of course, publications serve many different purposes, and understanding their types helps us see how we can communicate ideas effectively. So, let's take a closer look at the type of publications. Publications are generally divided into two types: periodicals and non periodicals. Periodicals are publications that come out regularly. You can expect them on a set schedule, whether daily, weekly, or monthly, while non periodicals aren't produced on a regular basis. They are usually published for a specific purpose. Apart from frequency of publishing, these publications also cater to different kinds of audiences, settings, different messages, tone of voice, layouts, sizes, etc. To understand these two classifications better, I'll share some common publication examples, and let's explore their key characteristics. But before I do, a quick trivia. Did you know that the first mass-produced book using woodblock printing was the Diamond Sutra created in 868 CE? Almost 600 years later, printing advanced in Europe with Johannes Gutenberg's movable type press, which allowed letters to be reused and rearranged. His first major mass-produced book was the Gutenberg Bible. So these types of developments eventually gave rise to the wide variety of publications that we have today. Now let's get back to our topic and take a closer look at periodicals and what makes them unique. So periodicals can be classified into four main types: newspaper, magazine, newsletter, and journal. So for news, these include newspapers or bulletins that keep the public informed about current events. They're mostly aimed at the general public. Magazines are usually targeted at either a general or specific audience and often focus on lifestyle, entertainment, or particular interests like fashion or sports. Magazine can cover just about anything: art, economics, politics, design, anything under the sun. Newsletters, typically aimed at a specific group or community, provide updates, announcements, or specialized information, often on a weekly or monthly basis. In a corporate or university setting, for example, You might receive newsletters regularly to keep you updated on company or campus news. And finally, journals. These are scholarly or professional periodicals that share research, studies, and in depth analysis in a specific field. Journals can cover a wide range of academic and scientific topics. Now, let's take a look at non periodicals. Again, these are published not regularly, but they're created for a specific purpose, whether that is to inform, instruct, or share research. First, we have books. These are complete standalone publications that cover a subject in depth. They can be academic, professional, or general, with chapters and often references. We have next pamphlets. These are short, printed works, usually just a few pages. They focus more on education, promotion, or awareness. Then we have monographs. Monographs are detailed works on a single topic, often by one author, and are usually scholarly, going deep into research or analysis. Leaflets are small sheets of paper providing informations or instructions. They're brief, focused on a single topic, and often distributed freely. Now, moving on to part two. So, booklets are small books, longer than pamphlets, but shorter than full books. They're often instructional or informative, sometimes with illustrations. Manuals guide readers step by step procedures, techniques, or operations, often including diagrams or tables to make things clear. Fact sheets are short, structured documents that present key facts or statistics. They're quite easy to read and often in bullet points. They're used in campaigns, reports, or presentations. And finally, photo novels. Photo novels tell a story mainly through photographs. They have captions and dialogues. They're visual, engaging, and used for education, awareness, or social campaigns. So, besides periodicals and non periodicals, there are other types of publications with specific purposes. So, we have proceedings, annual reports, technical reports, scientific papers, or articles. These publications may not exactly fit the standard categories, but they're very essential for sharing knowledge and documenting specialized information. So that summarizes my report on publication type and characteristics. One key takeaway I've observed is the ongoing evolution of publications. Many traditional forms now have their digital counterparts. For example, newspapers operate as online portals. Scholarly journals are accessible through searchable databases, and even official proclamations are preserved on government websites. This shift illustrates how the very concept of publication continues to adapt in advance to the ever changing technologies that we have and the needs of society. So, before I wrap up my presentation, I'd like to leave you with an insightful thought from communication scholar Wilbur Schramm. According to Wilbur Schramm, no medium is best. All media teach. It is the message treatment and the way the medium is used that makes it more effective or less effective. Personally, I believe this message is timeless. As we evolve the ways we communicate, whether it's through publications, through radio, TV, digital platforms, or social media, the key is to always deliver an impactful, reasonable, entertaining, and powerful message so we can truly connect with our audience. That's why, regardless of the tools that we have at our disposal, the heart of communication will always rest on our ability to craft messages that will resonate to people. Do you agree? So, this brings us to the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope it helped you gain a better understanding of the topic. Again, this is Rosamel Caetano reporting.